Hey, what's going on, everybody? Oh my gosh. It's a Wednesday. It's a wonderful Wednesday, right? It's a winning Wednesday. Tell me about what you're doing today because I want to know. I don't care where you're at in the world. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm sending my love and vibrations out to all of you on this magnificent, it's wonderful. We got to keep it in the W's, right? It's whimsical. Yeah, it's whimsical today. I think it's going to be whimsical, especially when you hear from this another amazing queen. Like, I just know all these queens, right? Like, all these amazing people that God has put into my life, and I'm just so grateful for all of them that I wanted you to meet them one by one. It's one thing to bring a whole group of them together and to allow them to have like a little 2 minutes to say who they are, but nah, I want to celebrate them. Like, this is Women's History Month, really Women's History 365. We celebrate history all the time, but I wanted to use this time to just focus on each one so you get to know them beyond her story, because there's so much more to them. It's not about who they were, but who they are right now. So if you're ready, I just want you, if you're watching, if you're whatever, just say ready. I don't care if you're watching it live, you're watching on a replay, just say you're ready. Say you're ready to meet them. Tell me where you're at and I can give you a shout out too. But Queen, are you ready back there? I'm looking at you, looking all gorgeous with your crown and crimped up there. See any thumbs up? So bring it to the virtual stage here for 25 days of her. We are on day 10, y'all. Woo! 10. 10. Okay, I'm getting excited. Just saying 10. 15 more to go. Hey, you imagine that? 25 days of her? Okay, day 10. Welcome to the stage, Miss Tonitia.
Hey, y'all. Hey. Next day of being healed, empowered, and resilient is here. Hello.
Hello. Look, you got some sunshine down there because we've kind of been bouncing all over the place, in the States, and we even traveled, down to South America yesterday. Oh, we went to the Caribbean too. So, and we'll be hitting some other places soon, but I can't say where. In the next few days, we're going to be, oh man, in 3 days in a row, we're going to be globe tracking, but I'm not going to tell y'all which days they are. But listen, my dear, so while I got you here, and turn the music down and off so we can listen and hear your beautiful voice. So tell everybody who you are and what you do, because this is all about Tonitia right now. Like, we're celebrating you. So go for it.
Well, first of all, visionary Carolyn, again, thank you so very much for providing a space and a platform and sharing your national and international platform with us. Right back at you. And celebrating Women's History Month and the 25 days of her. Again, this is day 10. And I am also healed, empowered, and resilient. And want to tell you why I am healed, empowered, and resilient, and why I'm being celebrated in the 25 days, number 10. So, quick bio, I am Tonitia Langley. Again, the 25 days of her have been all over. And right now we are in the sunny south of North Carolina is where I reside. I'm a wife and a friend of over 30 years to George Sr., a mom to 3 amazing grown children, Shay, Junior, and Ivy. G-my-T to 5 plus 3 bonus sweet little grandbabies and a big sis to 5 siblings. Yes. So you're talking about a true queen. You're talking about a true person who fits in her story of being healed, empowered, and resilient. That is me, number 10 of the 25 days of her. So let me tell you a little bit about my professional background. I have over 20 years of human service and teaching experience, and was actually very fortunate and blessed to be leading in the education profession. I'm a previous Teacher of the Year nominee, and at my best and operating in my zone of genius, I am an educational trainer, facilitator, and presenter. I am also a Meta Facebook digital content creator, best-selling contributing author of HERStory, And I am also a speaker. So those are some things about me in my professional sense. And let me tell you what has transpired to bring me to where I am today and what I'm doing today and how I got here. So I have an education consulting firm, and it's called Enrichment Strategist Services LLC. And this business or this firm was birthed from pain to purpose to create strategies and plans of actions to enrich the lives of my education consulting clients and or academic coaching services. I'm the senior education consultant and been in business for almost 3 years. So literally, guys, I started my business, and 6 months into starting a brand new startup education consultant business, the pandemic hit. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute, which is represents the R in being resilient. I'm certified in North Carolina as a hub MBE, which means minority business entity, and SBE, which is a small business enterprise. Anyone contracting my education consultant services will receive a special credit by doing business with a historically underutilized 100% woman owned minority business. Yes, I say that loud. I say it proud as we celebrate 25 days of her. We are knocking down walls. We are building, we are cracking open the ceiling. We're busting through behind these things. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my business focus. I am providing curriculum and instruction support to K-12 teachers and students. And my niche is CASEL's 5 components of social and emotional learning and testing data and personal development growth. And before I get into, any of the other specifics of what I do and who I am, in case I forget to mention it, because sometimes I will, Carolyn will have my link tree, which, is where you can find my business, where you can find me on social media, and how to schedule discovery calls for my education consulting services. So that's a little bit of the technical stuff about who I am, what I've done, where I'm at, how I got here. And I just want to tell you that any components that you've been through in your life, that's not the setting part of where you need to stay. You can basically recreate yourself as which is what I did. And I'll be the first to tell you, yes, I am a former teacher. But no, I did not exit my career beaten down, broke and disgusted. I left at the top and height of my career. I was still feeling very good about the profession. But do you know what I wasn't feeling good about? I was, as most of the women that are represented in these 25 days of her story, most of us do a phenomenal job of nurturing and taking care of the needs and support of others. But do you know where we miss the mark? You know where I'm, no, let me not make it so personal. You know where I missed the mark? I missed the mark of taking care of me. I missed the mark of making sure that I was good. I missed the mark to make sure that in order for me to be a servant in the kingdom and do what God had told me to do, that I had to be healed. I had to be empowered. I had to be resilient. So when I was offered the opportunity to come on board to be a contributing author, guys, again, I had no other choice but to say yes, because I want people to see. Oftentimes people will look at where you are and not know your narrative and not know your story, and just see where you are and not knowing the foundations of how you were built, the foundations of how this business was constructed, and the foundations of things that I had to go through in my own social and emotional intelligence to get to where I am today. So that is who I am. I'm your enrichment strategist. I am a teacher for life, but I am an education consultant, and I provide types of coaching, academic being one of them, but I've also do a lot of empowerment coaching. So I'm so glad that I was given the opportunity on day 10 of HERStory, to come on board, to share my story, and to get more than just the 2 minutes, as we start on this journey of this magnificent anthology that's going to change a lot of lives. So, Carolyn, again, thank you so very much. Thank you to you all that have joined. Thank you to you all that are going to catch the replay. We hope that you get something out of these 25 days, and we hope that you will order the book so that you can dive into these 25 dynamic women that the visionary Carolyn herself have chosen to be on this anthology project. Thank you so very much.
Woo, 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 woo. Did she say a mouthful, y'all? Like a whole what? Wait a minute. Say that part again. That you are what kind of certified? Say that again.
I am historically, I am 100% historically underutilized woman-owned business. 100%. There's no 50% or 51%. 100% woman-owned, underutilized, minority-owned business. And the education consulting firms are typically owned and operated and founded by the majority and not the minority. So, and I'm going to try to talk about this. I don't know why it's starting to grab at me, but just to talk about, I haven't had time to think about the milestones and the ceilings that I'm kicking through. I've just had time to survive and to take my skill set as a educational leader and take that and roll that into the business sense of constructing a startup. So I didn't have time to really think about how significant that is, Carolyn, and to the to the Facebook world and the YouTube world. And I would just like to tell them, Carolyn, that we're not the only 25 dynamic women that's represented in being healed, empowered, resilient in this anthology.
That's right.
As Bev said, it's all of us, it's all of you. And the same things it took for us to be empowered, to rebuild our lives, to reconstruct our lives, to tell our stories in a way that's authentic, unapologetic, in a way to help others. You also hold the power to do the exact same thing. Stop being shamed. Stop saying it can't be done. And a lot of times you feel that way because of the circle that you're connected to. Oops, I'm sorry, but I had to say it. It doesn't mean that you put the ones that are in a comfortable spot down. It doesn't mean that you love them less. But when you get ready to do new, you got to be with new. You can't, do the same thing and get new results. That's not how that works. So one of the things that I will, just drop a nugget on you, if you have a big dream, the dream is big. It was given to you for a reason. So it is for you to carry it out. And if it was given to you, that means you have the capabilities or you're more than capable to do it. But it is just that a lot of times us women, we get in the professional world where it's comfortable, it's cozy, and it's safe. And when we get ready to try to venture out, we still try to stay connected to people that are cozy, comfortable, and safe. And when you start vocalizing your thoughts, your dreams, your innovative ideas to do something different, they impose their them being afraid on you, and then it makes you afraid.
Right. You're carrying
their fears on you.
Exactly. You're carrying their inability, right?
That's right.
Their inability to understand your capability.
That's
when that becomes, so
that's a poetic snap, visionary.
So when they don't understand, they have an inability to understand your capability. That's their problem, not yours. And so then you need to move forward and get beyond their fear because they're trying to impose that on you. And so a lot of times when we are reluctant to do things is because of the influence of other people. So it's the influence of people who don't have that mindset. It's the influence of people who are fearful. It's the influence of people who don't see the bigger picture, or because they have the lack of understanding what was given to you. Because guess what? The vision wasn't given to them, it was given to you. It was given directly to you. And so when God gives it to you, he gives it to you because he entrusts you to execute it. And watch this, in the way he sees fit, not the way you see fit.
Ooh,
so
Carolyn, when you said that right then, I haven't even had lunch yet, but honey, you just filled me right on up at that point, because it is something that when you do new and try new, it is our brain's function to keep us safe.
Yes, absolutely.
That's its responsibility. It's like, okay, not gonna be doing some nut brain stuff out here. We got to keep you safe. So therefore, whenever you're doing something new or big, or something that no one else that you know or in your immediate circle has done, its whole job is to say, no, sweetheart, don't do that. That is what's going to happen if this happens or if that happens.
There's a box.
Yep.
I think I had a box.
Right.
But I got a bag. So everybody's trying to keep us in the bag.
Exactly. and we do it unintentionally, Carolyn. We do it unintentionally ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of times, yes, and a lot of times, I want to, to drive home that you said, excuse me, that you said he gives the plan to you. And so our professional mind that evaluates and analyzes, it's good now, but sometimes when things are given that's on a bigger scale, he's going to give you he may not give you steps B and C, but it freaks the natural mind out, because we are evaluative people that most of us think analytically, especially the trailblazers in our profession, Carolyn, like yourself, like me. We have to have those things in place in order for us to operate on a high level.
On a higher level, right.
But when you are doing something new, a lot of times, unfortunately, it has to be unorthodox, and that's also another place that's very uncomfortable for a lot of successful people leading in their profession.
It's the creative part of our brain. We all have it. We all have creativity, but we just don't invoke it. Like, we don't tap into it, and it's not as developed, or it may not just be, we just ignore it, right? Yep. So, and it's something that is just innately in us. Because I remember when my son was in, I forget what grade he was in, but he had to do this art project where he had to draw. He's left-handed, so I guess he thinks with his left brain. I can't, whatever. So whatever side of his brain is dominant part of his brain, right? Mm-hmm. So he had to draw something and tap into the other side of the brain.
Oh, wow.
So on one side he had to draw it the way he saw it and the way he understood it normally, and then he had to use his other hand, which would have had to tap into the other side of the brain and complete the rest of the picture.
That's neat.
It was amazing, because he was even amazed by himself. He was like, Mom, I don't know how I did it. See, because he was able to tap into that part that was already there. It's just inactivated. It's not, it's like it's like a muscle. Like, you got to use it, right? Mm-hmm. It's not being used.
That's true.
It's not being tapped into. So we all have a bit of creativity in us. And
that's so true.
We all do. We all do.
I'm not even going to have to go to the Poetic bars after this. That is so true, Carolyn. We all have it.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, it's like hopping on a ship and going in uncharted territory. Like, I'm not going over there. You put me in this canoe boat, and you put me out in that river that I'm used to, or lake. I'm not hopping on that big ship going all the way out there into the way big blue water yonder. I'm not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Well, here we go. See, now I'm not going to step on any educator toes, because I am an educator as well, right? But at the collegiate level, right? So, but because I'm at the collegiate level, I've taught at the collegiate level, I've had to have students that went through first and secondary versions of school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And see, by you being a former educator, and that's why you're doing Enrichment Strategist, is because of the pipeline of our educational systems.
That's true.
It does not allow for us to tap into that creative part of our brain.
That
It
is true.
allows us to stay on path. And this is what you do on the path. And while you're on this path, we're going to give you this. Okay, now you insert this. You take this and then you insert that. And then while you go down the conveyor belt, you just keep getting things that are given to you, and you digest it, and then that way you can understand it. And then either based on what you comprehend, based on what was given to you, then you go down another conveyor belt that's going to steer you based on what you know, based on what was given to you. So when have you ever tapped into your creative part of your brain? And then we go seek professions and jobs that do the exact same thing. We go, you come in, they say, this is what you do. You do this, you do that, and this is what comes out. Okay, whether you're a factory worker, whether you're a McDonald's worker, whether you're a teacher in a school, we all follow that. Whether you're a doctor, there's a process. There's a process. This has to happen, then this has to happen, then this has to happen. When do we tap into that creative part of our brain? We have never been taught to tap into our creative part of our brain. So when someone does tap into the creative part of their brain and they have these brilliant ideas that no one's like, what is that? Then they're looked at as the weird one or the odd one, and then they stifle, and then they don't nurture it, and it doesn't come out. So this is for all of you visionaries, because everybody's a visionary. Everybody's a visionary. Everybody has this gift. Everybody's been given a gift. We just have to stop being corporately conditioned. And you know that's my word, to be
absolutely absolutely
to things that have allowed us to not tap into that as well as we could and we should. Now, you can apply it to the other things that you just love, but and see, corporately conditioning. See, we was touching on some topics here that apparently was. So I look, I got the assignment. We going.
I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pick you up from the cell phone. That was all. So thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Yeah, because I was like, okay, oh, that's cool, no problem. I'm just gonna pick it up from the cell phone. But you know, I'd be okay.
So that was a whole mouthpiece. I know that was a whole mouthpiece, but there's some truth in it. I mean, like I said,
absolutely.
And not to step on anybody's toes or professions or anything of that nature, but it's really about just, you know, like you said, just being this whole unorthodox, because it's okay to be unorthodox. Look at Steve Jobs. He was very unorthodox. How many of y'all rocking iPhones? I'm not. But I'm just saying, y'all loving y'all Apples and y'all iPhones, but thanks Steve Jobs for being so like a visionary and unorthodox and doing things out of the box, so you wouldn't be team iPhone. You see what I'm saying?
Very, very true. And to add to what you said, see, I haven't taught on the university level, but I have taught in the community college level as a transitional studies instructor for 5 years also. And I taught, closed classes, which are your regular GED classes. And I've also taught your classes of people that had addiction, substance abuse. And I've been in the closed custody all male prison and taught it. And to add to what you're saying, the other spectrum of what you're saying, that some of these students, unfortunately, had they had the right type of individualized instructional plan for them and had things correctly differentiated for them, it could have probably prevented them from not completing their schooling and ended up in a GED program, or not completing their schooling and ended up in the correctional facility institution.
Right.
Lots of very bright, unfortunately, very bright. And the even sadder part is some of those very bright correctional facility inmates are extremely bright, extremely brilliant, talented, and are lifers. That means that they are in there for life. So not dousing education. It's just that there are some things, even if the framework of the educational system has not been fixed, educators have to educate themselves and get the training
Right.
themselves to know, to learn their craft, to learn their students in order to do these innovative types of
Right.
teaching, these evidence and research based strategies, you know.
Strategies. Now that just takes me to the next question that I always ask as we get closer to, ending today. But what is, so you have your business, and this is like a cool segue into it. So it's Enrichment Strategist Services.
Yes.
So what's the give us the, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, but really zone in on the message behind the message. Like, where did this name come from, and why was it so important? Because you didn't just pull a name out of the hat, right?
No,
You didn't
I did
just
not.
decide to do this business out of the hat. It's like, oh, I think I want to do this. I taught for X amount of years. I think I want to do this next. There's a message behind that. Please do share. Please do share.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you are pulling out. I'm about to lose my gangster, so I got to pull it in. So, that's a very, very good question. So you are right, Visionary Carolyn. Um, Enrichment strategist is pretty much just exactly what it means. Enrichment means to enrich something, someone, some experience. Strategist, because my niche is I do a great job of finding strategic ways to solve problems, to teach students, to teach others, to teach teachers, to train. And so, what happened and how the two merged was, which is some of what I talk about in HERStory anthology, which was the basis and the foundation of a very long period of time that I went through something, a very dark, dark place. And when I came out on the other side of this dark, dark place, that if you purchase the book or do the or get the book, you will see Tonitia Langley, part of my story, and the foundation that was the birthing process of Enrichment Strategy Services was in there. So this came from a very horrific, dark, depressive time in my life, and I basically had to use a lot of Casel's social and emotional learning components to rebuild myself, to restructure myself. And so I found out that I was really good at enrichment. So if I was able to do it for myself, to pull myself from a deep, dark place, then I also had the strategy. So strategist, which is me, to put those two together to form a business and just merge it with my area of expertise as a teacher leader leading the field of education. So that is why it's called the Enrichment Strategist, which is me, services, because that's what I provide in my education consulting on a corporate level, as well as any academic coaching or personal development or empowerment coaching that I do on a private level for clients. So that's a very good question. Carolyn, I don't think I've been asked that before, but it is a connection. And thankfully, this connection is listed in the anthology that you have and that I am with 24 other amazing queens sharing their stories of being healed, empowered, and resilient. Healed, empowered, and resilient. And that was the birth of the Enrichment Strategist. And therefore, I decided to merge, what it took for me to come out of that place and how I worked it, which were with the strategies. And I'm a strategist, and put those two together to form an education consulting firm to do what I do, and embedding social and emotional components. As well as providing any type of components that will help with data growth for teachers and for students.
All of that part. All of
All
that.
of that part.
All of that part. All of
Never
that.
been asked that before, but it is a very integral part of who I am and how my business was birthed.
Yeah,
So
it
thank you
is.
for asking, Carolyn. I do appreciate that.
Oh, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. And when you talked about HERStory, and I had to put the little link down there. You see it, like, HERStory, empowered, resilient, healed, empowered, resilient. Please go and get your copy. Get your copy. Get on the list, because we are going to be coming to a city or country, yes, I said that, or country
Or
near
country.
you, or country near
Yes.
you.
I got to
So
get my passport, Carolyn. I got to get my passport.
get your passport, get your passport ready. But listen, make sure you get a copy of it, because these women, I'm telling you, when they were able to show you who they were, and you're looking at them who they are now, but they were able to show you who they were and how they were able to get through to who they are. And so, but there's only so much you could do in 1,000 words, right? There's only so much you could do in 2 minutes. So sometimes there's only so much you could do in 5-10 minutes. That's all some of them had, and not all of them. But now it's like, what, it's Women's History Month. 25 days. Let's do it.
Genius.
See, this is where the unorthodox part comes from.
Genius. Genius.
When you think about it and then you count the days back and you go, oh, so when would the 25 days start? It's like tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay, then let's just do it. It's nothing to prepare for, nothing to get ready for. You just dive in.
Just dive in and say yes.
And just say yes.
And just say yes.
Just say yes. And just say yes. So before we head out, is there one, I always want to ask, sometimes I ask for a quirky fact, but just, give us a quirky fact about you. Just one quirky fact. Just one quirky fact.
One quirky fact about me is I am terrified, with a capital T, of balloons, or anyone blowing a balloon around me. Terrified. Things that happen sudden, and the anticipation of something may happen sudden is unsettling to me. So as big and gangster as I am, I am terrified of balloons, or them being around me, or especially if someone's blowing them up around me.
You're like, it's going to pop. It's going to pop. It's going to pop.
Yep. Palms get sweaty and everything. Like, yeah.
Hey,
and my eyes get big. Yes.
Everybody got something. Everybody got something. So before you go out, I want you to be able to give everybody who's watching now the replay, just give them a word of wisdom. Just give them something they can hold on to for today.
All right. So here we are, day 10. I'm number 10 of best-selling contributing author for HERStory of being healed, empowered, and resilient. And if I can give you one nugget out of all my top 5, my one nugget is to get started. Get it, whatever it is, get it out of your head and get it into motion. And you're not going to have the ability to dot all the I's or cross all the T's, or even be very knowledgeable of what it is that you're supposed to do. But just get started. Get it off of your to-do list, get it out of your head, and get started, whatever it is for you.
Wow. Just get started. That's the thing. You heard the word. I love the hearts and the likes. Make sure you share and pass this word so somebody can get it and understand. Just get it started. And she just broke it all down to you about her Enrichment Strategist services and why it came to be and the importance of it and who she is just in general, which is amazing. But wait a minute. I gotta give you that shout out one more time. What are you again? What kind of certified? What again? Hold up.
North Carolina historically underutilized business, minority business entity, and small business enterprise of 100% woman-owned minority business. There's not many of us, so I'm very, very proud to say that. And I always like to say I like to be my mom and dad and grandparents' wildest dreams. And getting started, which was one of the things that I just told them, to get it out of your head and get started, is what has led me here. And God has been opening doors. Even when there was a time when I was like, okay, it may be time to pivot and do something different and do my business on the side. But God said, not so. I gave it to you. So if I gave it to you, I didn't give it to you just for it to be a trend for the moment. I gave it to you because it's a service business that I have given to you, to put you on sole assignment to work in my kingdom, to do the things that you're supposed to do, to spread your horizons, your sphere of influence. So it's not just closed in a classroom or in any one district in the United States, but any of the several that's in the world. So that's what I'm just, giving to you. And God has really been opening doors. And It has been phenomenal. It started with, just some of the few projects that I've worked with the visionary herself. And just the first start was to say yes and to follow through. So, again, if you're interested in learning more, about my services, I think Carolyn is going to put my Linktree information in. Again, that is one way that you're able to, see where I am, who I am, some facts and stats about my business. I'm 100% legit. And then also, if you're interested in scheduling a discovery or booking an appointment with me, my Calendly link is also provided in my Linktree. So, and can I give a plug to, like I did yesterday? No?
Sure. I don't know. I don't remember what you did, but go for it.
The other day. So, connecting women together and forming collaborations. Me and Carolyn and Beverly talked about it the other day, that it's not a competition, it's a collaboration. And so one of the things that I will tell you is getting started with something. I was able to do another queen that's up here on this anthology to hire her to do something for me. And she is the one that put my Linktree together for me. I just provided her with the links and she was able to build it out for me. And so thank you again to Beverly Brooks for building that out for me, utilizing your area of expertise and your talents and gifts to allow me to just create, and consult. So I thank you so very much for that. And again, this is the beautiful thing about when a person, the right leader, plug the right leader or visionary, puts together a group of women to do anything, or a group of cohort of any sort to do anything. It is not about competition. It is about taking everyone's gifts and talents, putting it together. And it is not about competition. It is about collaboration. And I didn't have to go outside the house and knock on someone's door and say, hey, can you help me? It was right in the house. So thank you, Beverly, for that. And so the Linktree that you're going to look at was actually formed by another queen that has been represented in these 25 days of being healed, empowered, and resilient.
Perfect. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, no, that was fine. That was perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So thank you so much for being here today and just like sharing with us who you are, how amazing you are, and how you came to be who you are. That's all I can say, right? And I just love you. Just love you to smidges and pieces. Just love you.
Well, and guess what? I love myself some visionary too, with the wild MBA brain. That's what we say it all the time. Love myself some you too. So, it's just so good because, I think it's just easier for people to stay in their shells and stay in darkness. That's easy to stay there. It's
easy.
Horrible. It hurts, but it's easy. But
Right.
It's harder. It takes effort to do what us women in this anthology have been able to do and come out on the other side and not just share the story, but also provide healing, empowerment, and resiliency for those that's just waiting. They were probably just waiting, like, I just need to see that somebody else was dealing with some stuff and they came out on the other side.
And
so
the glory that's going to come beyond this, because God put all this together, put all of us together.
Yes.
And all everyone had to do was just say yes.
Just say yes.
Just say yes. So that's your message for today. As she said, just go ahead, just say yes, just make it happen, all that good stuff. So listen, Tonitia, thank you. We're going to cut up behind the scenes in a second, but thank you so much for being with us today on day 10. You're welcome. Celebrating her. Woo, bye. Listen, you guys, like, oh my God, like when I tell you this is like just fuel for my soul, it's fuel for my soul. Like I am so committed. I'm gonna show you my shirt today. So my shirt today is that I am committed to my purpose. And so my purpose is to get women from around the world globally to overcome fear, especially after any kind of past trauma and abuse. And it don't have to look like what mine was, but if you went through something and you experienced some kind of trauma because it shifted your atmosphere, and to get them to be able to tap into the divine assignment, the purpose that was given to them by being able to share and tell their story by using the power of their voice. So That's my sole purpose, and I know it, and I walk in it, and I understand that. We say I understand the assignment. Okay, anyway. So listen, enjoy the rest of your day. It's a winning Wednesday. Go tell somebody, go tag a queen, tag a king, let them know, hey, I see you. And you know what? You're doing amazing today. Won't you do that for somebody else? Because guess what? I'm about to do that for you. I see you guys. Remember, I tell you one of 3 things. What I always tell you. If you know it, you should know this by now, but I don't know. But I'm going to tell you anyway. You do one of 3 things. You be empowered, you be inspired, and most importantly, just be magnified. Enjoy the rest of your day. Day 10 of 25 Days of Her. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.